everyone, Heather Cooper here from Playing with Paper Crafting, and I'm just doing my Stampin' Tip of the Month for my newsletter. I wanted to talk to you a little bit about the newly designed stamp pad from Stampin' Up. When Stampin' Up did its color refresh with the new annual catalog, they decided to also go ahead and redesign this stamp pad to make it a little easier for people to open and just to make it a little sleeker, a little easier to store, and a little more intuitive, I guess. So we all had to get used to a new way of doing things. Just, I think if you take a look at this on end, you'll see that it takes up a lot less space and it's a little cleaner and sleeker. It does the same job. It stores the ink pad upside down so that all the ink is at the surface, ready to use, but it does it in a much easier way. And the cool thing about these stamp pads is that you can stack them. You see these little dimples at the top. On the bottom there are little feet that fit into the dimples, and then you can stack them. And look at how slim that stack would be compared to, the old stamp pads. So the old stamp pads was a bit of a rigmarole. You had to push and then pull from the other side, bring around and close. And we got used to it. I mean, we could do it in our sleep now. But with the new ones, what you do is you turn them like this, and they're like a compact that you have makeup in. You open them, and then you slide them into place like that. Now, some of you will have noticed that they're a bit stiff. And that's a good thing because it makes sure that they're airtight and that they're not going to have the ink evaporate and end up having to re-ink them a lot. But there are some things you can do to make that slide a little bit easier, and one of those is by taking a birthday candle and just running that along the track a little bit like that, and that will make it just glide a little bit more easily. Just make sure that any extra bits that you wipe away so that they don't get in onto your inking surface. Okay, and then just push it back and forth a couple of times to get it all inked up. And then you'll find that it slides a little bit easier. Okay. Okay, the other thing that you need to know is that on the back, I have to show you this one, there are labels. Now, I've already put all mine in place, but you can see that they have labels for all the different languages. You can just pull them off, and I put one in the front here. At the bottom, there's one that has no words on it, and that one you can put on the inside right in the groove here so that you can tell when the stamp pad's open what color it is. Some people even use a marker, a permanent marker, to write the name of the stamp set or the ink in there. And sometimes, like for this one, this is the front, I also just put one of the other language labels on the back so that, if it happens to be, you happen to be looking at it this way, you can see it on the back as well. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to take the French, which is pretty close, and I'm just going to show you how it works down a little bit. And just make sure it doesn't overlap where it would open up. Okay, and then you've got labels all over the place, so you're going to know what it is. Now then we recommend that you pull this whole sticker right off because it makes it easier to stack them. So just lift that right off, pull it off, and then they're ready to stack. The other thing that has changed is that they've made a new formula for the ink so that it has a defoamer inside. And so you may have noticed that with the old formula, when you've re-inked, you've had a few bubbles on top. Sometimes if it's a really juicy ink pad, you may have noticed that gives you a few spots when you're trying to get, especially when you have a solid image that you're trying to stamp. You may notice a few extra spots in that image because of bubbles in the ink. Well, the defoamer tries to take care of that. So if you buy any refills new, they will all be the new formulation for the ink. So if you're buying the new ink pads, you can still use the old re-inkers, but if you want to get that new formulation, then I suggest that you buy brand new refills as well, so that you can take advantage of that. So that's all I have for you in terms of tips for the new ink pads. And I hope that you'll start to buy some of the new colors because they're just gorgeous. And I really like these new ink pads. They have a lot of very beneficial assets to them. So talk to you later. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.